viral on YouTube tonight.
Okay. So, anyways, let's deal with these. First of all, let's deal with how we get our clients, okay? Because I like that one. Hey, listen, if you work for any other company in financial services, they'd say make a list of all your friends and family, go start trying to do business with them, and hopefully they'll refer to someone else, right? Okay, by the way, this is what they're thinking, okay? So work with me on this, because we do the same thing, we just do it differently, okay? But here's the thing. So, but Justine, your friends and family might not see you as a financial expert today. It's just, I mean, you're a medical biller and you work as a bartender, right? They're not going to see you, I mean, they love you, they'll help you move, but they ain't letting you touch their money, right? Plus, they're too close to you, they don't always want to share all their financial information, right?
Right.
So, this is, if you're going to start a business, any business, say a construction business, right? Say you're a handyman. You get little business cards made up, you give them to everybody you know, right? And you say, look, if you ever need any handiwork done around the house or anything like that, give me a call. What you wouldn't do is you wouldn't bust into somebody's house, start tearing down a wall, and say, by the way, this one was really messed up, here's my card, you know, we gotta, you know, right? I mean, you wouldn't do that. But that's kind of what those other companies are asking you to do. Okay, we take much more of the business card approach. We just want to get the word out as to what you're going to be doing so that if people you know run across somebody who can benefit, they know somebody in the industry to refer them to. And trust me, people you know people that are messed up financially. But now they're one step removed from you, so the weirdness isn't there and all that stuff. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, they're right on with it. Now, if you're continuing to talk about, like if I'm working with a new associate and I just explained that, then the follow-up is, because you're going to get them to make a list instead of this, right? It's kind of contrary. So what I say to follow up with that, I'll say, listen, well, friends and family don't really want to do business with you. They're more than happy to be part of a practice training plan. And we're really clear when we do this. We say, hey, listen, if there's something we can do to help you, we'd love to earn your business. If not, that's fine. This is just training for Justine. But if you like our company, and you like what we do, and you like Justine, maybe you might think of some people you know who could benefit. If we refer them over to her, that'd really help her get going. It's not halfway through our presentation, they're like, oh man, you need to talk to this guy about work. You need to talk to our neighbor, you need to talk to, right? And so, by the way, I got to tell you, most of the time, by the time we're done, they're like, that thing's free, right? Can we get one of those? Mm-hmm. And we say, sure, we'll help them out. But the reality is if we go on 10 practice training appointments, by the time we're done, you know how to do the business. And if we picked up 3 or 4 referrals each time, there's 30, 40 people ready for you by the time you're licensed. Our goal is to build you a market, so by the time you're licensed, there are people ready to see you. Okay? It's not like you get your license and say, now, and we say, well, here's the phone book, go to town. I mean, that's kind of what those other companies do. And they're tracking with me the whole, I make sure they're tracking with me, by the way, the whole time. Yeah. But isn't that,
yes.
By the way, is all of that stuff true?
Yes.
Yeah, you just can't explain it worth the darn. You know, some people tell me, they said, you know, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person or the right thing to the wrong person. I personally disagree with that. You can I've heard people completely screw up the right person by saying the wrong things. Okay? Now, these aren't complicated things, you just got to learn them. Just learn a few things, okay? All right, so on the compensation one, is it commission? Yeah, we get paid based on helping families. A lot of people say, how do you make your money? Right? If this thing's free, how do you guys get paid? Well, in this example, we saved the money on life insurance. We saved the money on auto and homeowners, but we brought brand new business to our company, right? That's new for us. There's money in that stuff, right? We did investments or a loan or debt program, whatever. There's money in all that stuff. The difference is that Primerica pays us out of their profits rather than the client paying us a fee like a fee-based planner. And they actually pay us better than fee-based planners, so it's kind of a win all the way around. Does that make sense? Okay. And then also for, you know, if they're really hung up on the commission thing, we handle that a couple different ways. Usually when we get the commission question, it's over the phone. We're talking to somebody over the phone. Is this in commission? And what we usually say is, well, it's a variable compensation. Okay, commission is a component of that, but there's also bonuses and other parts of it. But usually when people ask us about that, they're concerned about stability or security or things like that. Is that kind of what you're asking? Yeah. Well, that's not an issue here. I mean, I just said it just like that. That's not an issue here. So when we get together, I'll show you more about that. And they show up.
All right.
Because the issue isn't commission. The issue is this thing stable?
I gotta make money.
Yeah. Can I pay my bills?
Right.
Can this business be stable?
Yeah.
Yeah, the only problem is we're not stable. But, you know, the business is stable. Right? The business is stable. The third one is the multi-level marketing thing, and a lot of times I'll draw a picture. I draw pictures. I always talk in pictures, but I'll draw different pictures. Just so you guys know, our model is a general agency, right? You got a company, then you got a broker runs office, agents that work with clients, right? And it's just like State Farm, Farmers, Allstate, Century 21, Remax, all those kind of companies, okay? The difference between ours and those companies is in those companies there's no pathway to broker. You're either a broker or an agent. In our company, we have a pathway to broker, and that small part of our business is what gets us confused with multi-level marketing sometimes, okay? The other part is that if we can develop a broker, we get a profit-sharing relationship in that business and ownership, ultimately, of that business, okay? That's typically 10+ times income, all right? So if you have a good vice president, I mean, if you develop one good broker, right, and you have a $30,000 base shop, you know that you could sell that business for like $2 to $3 million, right? Now, I couldn't position myself in 10 years to have a 401k that looked like $2 to $3 million. But as bad as I've been at this business, in 10 years later, I can have a business that's worth $2 to $3 million, and I can sell it and be fine. I can retire right now on $2 to $3 million, just so you know. Does that make sense? Yeah. Another part of explaining, and by the way, that part gets us confused as franchises. Okay? We're not a franchise because we don't sell it to the public. That makes sense. You can't go buy a Primerica business. You can buy a Quiznos, you can't buy a Primerica. We sell them internally though, and I always tell people this is a great line. And if you build a business here and you want to sell it, call me first because I'll buy it from you. It's like Monopoly, man. Whoever's got the most properties wins. You with me on that? Yes. So the other thing is and when I'm talking in kind of an overall corporate setting, and I talk about multi-level marketing companies, because a lot of people, I'll show how our business and how we, the Century 21 illustration broker, all that stuff. I don't do that right now. And so a lot of people say, well, that looks too good to be true. I can make a bunch of money, then I can have a business and make $1 million. Then I say, okay, it's too good to be true. Let me tell you something about too good to be true. If I developed an exercise program and said, we're going to work out 3 days a week, we're going to bust it, and then we're going to make healthy eating choices, okay, that we'd all be more fit and have more energy, would that be a true statement?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. I can guarantee that, right? Because it involves two things. It involves hard work, and this is how you tell if an opportunity is too good to be true or not, all right? It involves hard work. Listen, we work hard here. This isn't some get-rich-quick scheme. You're not going to put an ad in the paper and money's going to get mailed to you. This isn't anything like that, late-night TV stuff, okay? This is a real business, all right? But we work hard here. We work hard here. And it also involves discipline. You have to make healthy eating choices. You can't outwork a bad diet. I know, I've tried that for years, right? And so a lot of people ask me, what's the best part of the business? What do you like best? For me, it's the freedom. I get to design my own schedule. I work when I want to, not when I don't want to. I love that. I love that freedom. And I still put in my 40 hours or whatever, but I can design when that is. When we go to Disneyland, we go during the week, not on the weekend, because that would be dumb. Has anybody ever been to Disneyland on a weekend? Yeah. Right? And I usually get a laugh out of it, by the way, so that's pretty good, right? But some people always ask me, so what's the worst thing about the business? Because they want to know the good and the bad, right? Yeah. The worst thing, or the hardest thing for me, is managing my freedom. Because it's easy when it's a beautiful day to say, I'm going to try and squeeze another day of summer out of this thing, and that's fine, you can do that, but you have to work sometime, right? Does that make sense? Yes. Okay, now take those two things out of the equation, all right? You just take this little pill. You never have to work out. You can eat whatever you want, and you'll be thin and healthy and fit. Does that sound too good to be true?
Yes.
Yeah, because we took out the hard work and the discipline. Okay? Are there products like that on the market today? Yes. Absolutely. And they have a picture of some model, not even associated with the product on there, and underneath there it says results not typical, and underneath that it says must include diet and exercise. Yeah. Right? We'll get rid of the pill, do the diet and exercise, you'll be fine. Same thing here. Okay? This is why we do training. This is why we do so much training, because we're not just going to train you on how financial products work. We're going to train you on how to manage your life, how to manage your time, how to have some discipline in your life. And are those good things to learn?
Yes. Yes.
Worst case scenario, this thing doesn't work out for you. You learn all about money and finance. Is that a good thing? It's cheaper than one textbook in a college class, And last I checked, college classes don't bonus back your tuition when you're done. Right? And and there's other things too, but I'm like Rick Perry, and I can't remember the other.
All right, good.
The other thing is that
to manage money.
yeah, and the other thing is that you learn how to, like, I deal with, okay, you're talking with somebody who's shy. Okay, have you ever met somebody who's shy and says, I don't know if I could go talk to people, or I don't want to, have you ever talked to that person? Yeah. And then this is what I say. First of all, I use this example of Patricia in my office, who was a bookkeeper, administrator. She was nervous talking to me one-on-one. Now she could present in front of 200 people like it's nothing. And I said, was she scared? Absolutely. But we developed those skills along the way. So let me ask you a question. If you developed how to be a little bit more outgoing, how to develop better communication skills as a person, would that make you more marketable? Would that improve your life in any way? Absolutely. Well, you could learn that here. We're not going to send you out until you're ready, okay? But we're going to teach you all this stuff. We're going to walk with you every step of the way. But when we're done here, you present to 200 people like it's nothing. Those are the kinds of things that if you just learn some answers to some questions, they just need to understand, okay? Which is why on Saturday morning, we start with new associate training, because it's amazing to me, but every week, they've got questions. Yep. And so I'm just up there fielding questions. And by the time I'm done, they're like, okay, those are all the answers, right? And I tell them, you don't have to be able to explain it to your brother yet. You just have to trust that it works. Over time, you'll be able to explain it, but just get your brother in front of me, and I'll
There you go.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
And don't try and argue with people. Okay, I'll end with this. Don't try and argue with people. That's like me saying I want one person for president and you saying you want a different one. If I argue with you, is that going to change your mind?
No.
No, right? So what we do is we just say, hey, listen, those are great points, but I'm thinking about making this my career. I'm thinking about doing this for a career. So would you do me a favor? We do these practice training appointments. Would you do one of these training appointments with me? And you point out all the things I should look for, okay? And I mean, do you have my back on this? Yeah, I got your back. I've been on quite a few training appointments that start out like this, and I barely even get to sit down, right? And they're like, okay, show me what you got. Have you ever been on one of those? Oh, yeah. It's not halfway through one of those training appointments, that person's elbows aren't on the table, and they're like, you mean to tell me if I did this, I did that? I have not once in my entire career been on an appointment where at the end, they turned to the person I was training and said, watch out for this, I don't know what this thing is.
That's exactly right.
They always say, wow, this isn't what I expected.
That's right.
Okay? Now I say that to the new person so that they can know what to expect. That they're going to get a hard time. Don't argue with it. Don't try to defend the company. Company defends itself. Just set an appointment with that person. Right? Just set the appointment. We'll go in. The harder the better. I need to keep my skills fresh. Right? I was on a tough one last night. And by the time we were done, I mean, this guy's got 300 grand sitting in his checking account because he... Man.
It's fearful.
So, anyways, hopefully those are some ideas.
All right, Tom.